What's up, guys? Tuki here, back again, this time with something a little bit different. The people have spoken, and our next series here on NHL 17 will be a fantasy draft franchise mode. Now, before we get into it, I just wanted to say this roster is up to date. For example, Josh Joris and Peter Holland are on the Arizona Coyotes. I also wanted to say I added a couple of other rookies in as well from the upcoming draft. Casey Middlestott has been added. Let me cycle through here and get through this quickly. Elias Pettersson, someone very promising. Eli Tolvanen, and one other guy who is in here that was specifically mentioned, Klim Kostin. And of course, all of them have been placed on junior teams and will be eligible to be drafted at the end of the first year. But I just wanted to go over that. Keep in mind the players I just specifically mentioned aren't in the Bruins series, but they will be in this series and in all future series. So let's get down to this. Again, this is something completely different for me. I don't even do fantasy drafts on my own. I guess maybe that void is filled with, just playing fantasy to begin with. But as far as what team we're going to use, of course, we're going to use a Western Conference team, and I want to use a team in the Central. Of course, we used a team, the Minnesota Wild, in Nations United. Of course, that was to offset the fact that we used Vancouver, but I do feel like there might be a decent chance after the Bruins series or this that people might say, so I'm just going St. Louis because it's funny, because they were our main rival with the Nords. That is my reasoning. Tough if you don't like it. We will be using the St. Louis Blues, and it's a fantasy draft anyway, so who cares? We're really just picking for color scheme. That's all we are picking for here. But let's see. We'll just go 20-minute periods because it's not like it matters. Fantasy draft. Authentic cap penalties I'm going to turn off because it is a fantasy draft. So who the hell cares? Draft pick ownership. I'm even going to turn that on to classic. So everyone has the same draft picks that they should. If you want the realistic series, go for the Bruins. This is a fantasy draft, and we are going to treat it that way. Advanced settings, do I have to change much? Just turn off auto-rotate goalies. Overtime and all that shit can remain the same, and I think we are good to go. I'm not going to worry about the gameplay sliders. They're pretty much just default anyway. Of course, salary cap will stay on because who cares? It is a fantasy draft. Now, I am going old school here. And excuse me if the sound of wrinkling paper sounds terrible, because I want to keep track here. We are going to draft for best player, and as you can see, we got lucky. We have the 4th overall pick, which is pretty nice. Now, I could randomize this. This is interesting. I'm not going to give us the number 1 overall pick. We have the 4th overall pick. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit the button 3 times. I'm going to hit randomize 3 times. The best position we get or the median? Oh, what do we do here? What do we do here? Because if we go median position, there's no way we're getting 4. Let's see. Randomize. That would put us at 25th, 11th, or 24th. Let's hit it one more time. Shit. All right. I'm going to hit it. Okay, good. We're back at 4. I don't care. We're back at 4. We are going with the number 4 pick. I think that's fair. I mean, I could put us dead center. I don't know. I'm going 4. Fuck it. We're going 4th overall. I can't sit here all day and try to decide what to do. We have the 4th overall pick in this fantasy draft. Erik Karlsson. Sidney Crosby goes number 1 to Florida. Erik Karlsson to the Islanders, and Connor McDavid to the Carolina Hurricanes, which gives us the very first option here. And obviously we have some decent picks. Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Toews, Alex Ovechkin. Or we go with the best goalie in the game. We could go with Carey Price. This is going to take forever to sort. God damn. Okay. So I got to be careful with my picks here. Do we go with the best goalie in the game? Or do we go with Steven Stamkos or Alex Ovechkin? Those are pretty much who I have it listed down to. Taves, yeah, kind of, sort of. Stamkos, Ovechkin. I'm going with the best goalie in the game. Because by the time we get through the rotation, guys, he's not going to be there, and we're going to get stuck, if we're lucky, with the Pekka Rinne. Carey Price is a St. Louis Blue. And again, I am a Bruins fan, in case you did not know, in case I haven't made that fairly obvious. We are taking Carey Price with the number 1 pick. Of course, we'll go back through the rounds and see where people went. Drew Doughty is on Vancouver. Tyler Seguin to Nashville. Taves to Winnipeg. Stamkos to Boston. And I won't name people off from here because I will very quickly run out of breath. But I do think I made the right choice. Ovechkin didn't go until 15. I do think I made the right choice in going with Carey Price, though. I think that was the right call. No other goalies have actually been taken so far. Rask goes 27 to Dallas, and that is the end of the first round. Round number 2, Philip Forsberg, Nikita Kucherov, and Braden Holtby go. We actually don't get the next pick. It must be oh shit, is it a snake draft? Oh, fuck me. I definitely made the right choice then. Yeah, we don't get to pick until 57th overall. Holy fuck. So yeah, I made the right choice in taking Price and not trying to say where everybody went because I would be dying. Just dying. So, taking Carey Price, the right choice. Who will we get to take with option number 2, though, is the question. We still have only a handful of 90 overall players left. I could go by potential as well. But Suter, Bufflin, Letang, obviously we won't take Joe Thornton due to his age. Zdeno Chara is up there as well. We have, oh boy, we got 3 low franchise guys left. We have Jack Eichel, Austin Matthews, and Patrick Laine. Who do we take? It's got to be one of these 2. Or one of these 3. Matthews, Laine, or Eichel. Holy shit, who do we take here? I mean, Jack Eichel. I mean, all 3 of them are obviously just absolute beasts. It's going to be Laine or Eichel due to the scoring ability. And after seeing what he did in the Bruins series, we are going with Patrick Laine as our second pick and our main offensive player. Now, of course, because it is a snake draft, we will get our next pick very shortly here. So let's take a look. Letang, Crawford, and Carlson finish out the round. Reinhart, Suter, and Corey Schneider are gone. So let's take a look. Corey Perry, Bufflin, Thornton, some very solid players are still left available. But again, we are going by potential, and we are going with Jack Eichel for our third pick. So our first 3 picks, Price, Laine, and Jack Eichel. Now we don't get to pick again until very late in the 4th round, so let's scroll through here and see who else is gone. Perry and Getzlaf go back-to-back. That is pretty interesting there. I'm happy so far. I am happy so far. Now, a lot of people might say, low franchise, maybe that's not as good as high elite, or, of course, medium franchise, which was not an option. Mitch Marner goes somewhat early ahead of some other guys you might not expect. But I don't know. So far, so good. I mean, obviously you could say like, oh, you should have gone with this guy over that guy. But it's a spur of the moment thing. And obviously I didn't leave any time to be like, oh, what should we do? I suppose I could have live streamed this. And I'll say this, and I've said it before. Live streaming is something I definitely hope to get into in the future. The internet issues I had back in September, that was extremely disappointing because that was going to lead to me hopefully being able to live stream at this point. Like this draft, had that worked out, we probably would be live streaming this on whatever day. But in the future, if we do another series like this, I hope it would be live streamed. I'll just say that. I want to look by potential again here, though. And we have some interesting choices. Evander Kane, Thomas Tatar, Strome, Sergachev, Oli Levy. Do we go with the young prospect defenseman? We still have a lot of medium elite guys. Dalcall, Alex Nylander. Clayton Keller is up there, who could be really good for the future. Zach Werenski. I know some people are arguing potentials. Again, remember what I said in the roster editing, that some potentials just won't stick, and some guys I may have made better than they actually were, and the game just simply changed it. But based on the overalls at this point, I think we should go by potential here. Oh, boy. I'm thinking Ulevi or Sergachev, and Sergachev, of course, is bumped to a 76. We made sure he was close to making the NHL. Evander Kane, Eichel, and Laine. Or do we go with Mikhail Sergachev? I think I have to go with Evander Kane for now to complete that top line. We will hope to get Sergachev or Olli Juolevi in the future. But I think our next pick has to be Evander Kane. Let me check one more time. It could be Andre Palat, who is still on a pretty decent contract. Evander Kane. Oh, shit. Palat, actually, he only has 1 year left. Evander Kane's locked up for 2. Oh, shit. In case you didn't know, this is going to be a long episode because I'm doing this whole draft live. We're doing it. So whatever. I'm going to take Evander Kane with our next pick. So our top line and our goaltending are taken care of. Kane, Eichel, and Laine will be our top line. And of course, our next pick comes very shortly after this one. So Eric Johnson, Hornqvist, and Bobby Ryan finished the 4th round. Jonathan Quick goes. And now we are up yet again. And this might be the time to take Sergachev, because again, we could take some pretty decent players here that are 88 overall, but as you can tell by the team, I am looking toward the future as well. 87 overalls, like there are some good players here for sure. Oh, Jonathan Huberdeau. We might have to take Jonathan Huberdeau. Oh, Ryan Murray's there, although he didn't pan out too well in the Nord series. Hamonic, Ekholm, Olli Mata. Oh, boy. Oh, shit. Okay. Huberdeau was locked up for 7 years and is probably only going to get better. I'm going to take Huberdeau. Jonathan Huberdeau, come on down. I'm still looking at Juolevi and Sergachev. I think we'll still have time to get them because this game is having these teams pick up NHL-ready players. Travis Konechny actually goes to Vancouver. An interesting pick there. Brandon Carlo to Winnipeg. It'll be interesting to see what these full teams end up being. I mean, obviously there are some decent players that I am passing up on, but again, I'm not totally against the team that we have thus far. As we keep scrolling through, Palat didn't go until much, much later, so I'm happy we went with Evander Kane. And then again, I should say too, the AIs are obviously picking players for the future as well. Zach Werenski. Vancouver's looking like they're going to have a damn good team. But let's see who we could have with our next pick. We have yet to take a defenseman, which is interesting. I mean, I don't want to take Thornton. You notice the game is leaving the older guys at the top there. So we don't have any defensemen. But there's no one here so far that I'm like, oh shit, yeah, we absolutely have to take them for defense. Let's actually sort by goaltender here. Like, who could be our ace on defense? Sami Vatanen, Jake Gardner, Tyler Myers is available, Torrey Krug, David Savard, who did wonders for us in Quebec City. I mean, there are some decent guys. We could build a decent defense. But I can't look past the likes of Sergachev and some of the prospects here. Like, some of the prospects that are still available are absolutely insane, including Oscar Klefbom. God damn, this is difficult. But I really do feel like we need to take some defensemen at this point. I mean, offensively, I'm tempted to go like full potential though, you know? Like someone like Clayton Keller could be great for us. Alex Nylander's there, Strome, Tyler Toffoli. Oh my God. This is about as difficult as I expected it to be. Perlini's available, Julien Gauthier. God damn. It's just a matter of what strategy do I want to employ here. I think I'm going to go for depth. I'm going to try to make this team a true winner in the future. Mikhail Sergachev is our next pick. He has to be. And we will hope that we can get some great players for the future here. Of course, we have Price. We have that solid top line, but that solid top line is still young. Evander Kane is our oldest forward at this point. Let's get back to where we were. Dubinsky, Kessler, and Oscar Klefbom went next to Florida. Braden Point, Niskanen, and Radulov go next. And right now our cap hit's only at 20 as well. Oh, let's see. I think we might go right back to defense here, boys. Ole Ulevi. Let's take him. Again, I might be taking him too high. We're going to be missing out on some people. But fuck it. We'll see. We'll just see how this approach goes. We might not be great at the start, but we are getting some very, very valuable prospects that could do wonders for us. I mean, you could argue instead of Sergachev and Ulevi, I should have taken Shea Theodore and Klefbom, and I absolutely would not disagree with you. Those would have been great picks. But who knows what Ulevi and Sergachev will become. Jesus Christ. We still have a long way to go in this episode, and I'm keeping this in. I am keeping this in. So I hope for the people that wanted this, you enjoy it. If you've made it this far already, that is insane. If you made it this far already, as Clayton Keller goes, god damn it. If you made it this far already, that's absolutely insane. Like this first episode, obviously, with how long it's going to be, will not be the most approachable series, but people wanted to see it, and there's no better way than just, I could cut, I could make a jump cut every 5 seconds being like, we took this guy, or I just could have shown off the completed team. But this is what we are doing. This is what we are doing. Now, I do wonder for goaltenders, and that's what I was wondering. Demko, Ilya Samsonov, or Carter Hart. I think we need to take one of those 3 goalies to be the future behind Carey Price. I meant to sort by forwards because this is at the point where it's going to be pretty slow. We do have Michael Dowcall still available. Any decent high top 6 guys that are still pretty young? Like I said, we're going with the prospects here. That's for sure. We could go for Cody Ceci. Charlie McAvoy is there. I don't know if I want to use him in 2 different series. I'm going to play it safe. And we are going to draft, I want to say Thatcher Demko, but of course we had him in the Vancouver series. So to be different, I'm going to take a goalie that we've nearly had on a couple of occasions. And we're going to draft Carter Hart as our prospect goalie, so we'll get whatever backup. It's not like that's going to matter. We will get whatever backup to play second fiddle to Carey Price. But we will hopefully have Carter Hart. Then again, he won't even be able to play in the AHL at first. But it's good to have a project goalie. And like I said, too, if we're bad in the first season, that's not a bad thing because the draft should be solid for us. Like I said, the changes I made to the draft, we haven't seen it yet in the Bruins series. We'll see that. We'll see the first draft in the Bruins series before this one. But we just don't know what those players are going to turn out to be. So, interesting times. Interesting times. Goalies, we are good, of course. Defense, of course, all we have right now is Sergachev and Oli Levy. Let's take a look at the highest rated guys. Chara is still there. At least the game's smart enough to avoid him until very, very late. He could be a solid late pickup. Defensively, is there anybody we really want? Like Nikita Zaitsev wouldn't be terrible. Zadorov. And there are some top 4 guys that aren't terrible. Let me take a look at the forwards again really quick. See who is there. Like the best guy that I'd probably take is like Anisimov. So let's keep going with potential, I feel. This team might not be great at the start, but sooner rather than later, they will be monsters, and we are going to take Michael Dalcal with the next pick. Get another good prospect in there with Michael Dalcal. That'll be our last pick for a while, of course, until round 10. So we will continue to scroll through here. And I gotta be honest, holy shit, is my jaw cramping up right now. Oh, it's brutal. It is brutal. But we will power through. You guys are powering through at this point. I just got to open up this bottle of water. Hey, Chara went. You guys are powering through, so I need to do the same. And we will get through this together, no matter how long this video ends up being. We will get through this together, god damn it. And we're going to build a team that will hopefully go on to do great things. Let's see here. It sucks because they keep getting players that I'm not necessarily looking at. But, again, I'm all about the future here. Speaking of which, I think let's go back to defense here. We have Sanheim. We have McAvoy, Hayden Fleury, Jake Bean, Jacob Larson. And then high top 4, Thomas Chabot, Logan Stanley. Some interesting names here. I'm going to go with Larson, I think. Because he's a 78 at 19 years old. Unless there's a forward that really sways me here. Which there are a couple of decent forwards as well. Who do we go? I'm going to go defense. I'm going to go defense here. Dalcal was our last pick. Let's go with Jacob Larson, a prospect of the Anaheim Ducks, and we will see what kind of impact he has on this team. And of course, we will have another pick coming up very shortly, thanks to the rules of the snake draft. I got to skip all the way to the end here. Kunitz, Bogosian, and Lawson Krause go next. Beaulieu, Ladd, and Plekanec are the next ones up. I think I'm going to build this team from the back, really. Like, offensive prospects and finding players who can score, they're a dime a dozen, but really in the Nord series, like, defense was hard to come by. Defense was hard to come by. I'm tempted to go with Charlie McAvoy, even though we'd also have him in the Bruins series. And maybe because of that reason, we'll hold off. Because of that reason, I think we'll hold off. Let us go. Actually, maybe offense. Maybe offense will switch it up. I mean, they're all low elite anyway. Offense, let's go. Let's go with Timo Meier, of course, of the San Jose Sharks. He is in, and we will see what he can do for us throughout the series. That'll be our last pick for a while. Tryamkin stays in Vancouver. Interesting pickup there. So we continue to go through. I'm looking for any names that I'm really going to kick myself over not getting. So far, I'm not too upset with the names I am seeing. It paints an interesting picture for our main team. And maybe now is the time that I've taken so many, decent prospects. Maybe now is the time we look to get some normal NHLers Because we are going to need... Wow, Demko went pretty late. We are going to need some players that are actually NHL level, as Ryan Spooner stays in Boston. We are going to need some decent guys. And Nick Bonino back in Vancouver. So let's take a look here. We still need some main roster defense. We still need someone to play with Huberdeau on that second line. So taking a look at forwards here, can we get anybody with decent potential? That is the question. All these medium top six guys. Brock Nelson is an option. Any other guys? Tyler Ennis, Andrew Shaw. Any other guys that have a decent overall and are a little bit younger? Melker Carlson. A lot of top six guys. Jesus. And Joel Colborne. Okay, well, as far as potential goes, not the greatest, and they're also a little bit older. So if we're drafting for need here, if we are drafting for need, I want to look at a center specifically. Let's try to get our second line center. And I'm looking at contracts. Mike Ribeiro, as I've stated, will never be on a team of mine. Travis Zajac, Tyler Bozak, Soderberg, Eller, Desharnais. I mean, Brock Nelson might not be the worst pick because he could get a little bit better, although it is doubtful. He might be a decent pick, and he might be our best bet. I am going to go with Tyler Bozak. He will be our second line center. And we are definitely going to have to start getting some NHLers here. So maybe I went a little bit overboard, but again, I wanted to build for the future, and I feel like we're in a good spot, and hopefully we can take advantage of the AI making some dumb decisions and leaving certain players on the table that they probably shouldn't have. We need a right wing next. Who is that going to be for that second line? It's looking like Jason Williams or Lee Stempniak, to be honest. Although we could pick Jaromir Jagr and only have him for a year, but I do think that would be just a bit of a waste. Williams or Stempniak. I mean, we'd only have Williams for 1 year. We are going to go with Lee Stempniak on that right side. Huberdeau, Bozak, and Stempniak on that second line. God damn. That is impressive. That is impressive. I just need to mark down a couple of things here. Just noting, I still got that piece of paper in front of me, man. We are keeping track. And we will make this work. But let's see here. As we continue to scroll through, this has been quite the process. And I don't know. Is half an hour into it or just shy of half an hour into it time to start regretting maybe not going with some better players at the start? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Again, I have no idea what to expect from this series. I don't have a goddamn clue how this is going to pan out. I do look forward to the comment section, though. That should be something else, seeing what people are saying. Oh, you should have gone with this guy. You should have gone with Ovechkin, not Price. It'll start way back at pick number 1, I am sure. But let's take a look here. I might still go with NHLers, and I'm going to go with defense because we really need to get a hold of some defenders. So let's see here. 85 overall is going to be our best on defense. So I'm going to have to go with the youngest. I'm going to go with Dan Girardi. Dan Girardi will be our first decent pick on defense. Holy shit. Hopefully those rookies progress fairly quickly, because this first season might be a shit show, or it will prove the power of having the best goaltender in the game. One or the other. And we will very quickly find out which one it is. So let's see here. Who will play with Dan Girardi? I'm thinking Andy Green or Tobias Enstrom, and I'm going to go with Andy Green. The captain of the New Jersey Devils is in. Green and Girardi, our current top 2 defensemen. God damn. Toby Enstrom went to Vancouver the pick after. Just, oh man, sitting here just looking at who we drafted. I can't wait to see how this pans out. You know, at first I'm like, man, I don't know how a fantasy draft would go. I am so goddamn excited sitting here to see what the comments are going to end up being. Cannot wait. And then I can't wait to see if I was right or wrong to take the approach that we have as we play through this series. The good news is, of course, is our first line and second line are taken care of. The goaltending is taken care of. We need to look at getting a second pair defense here before we look at any more offensive players. So let's see, a lot of 84s. Of course, a couple of 85s left as well. And I do wonder, if we look potential-wise, and we look at the overalls for top 4 defensemen, do we have any high overall guys? Not really. Low top 4, Brady Shea. It's not like, yeah, so overall is kind of out the door as far as getting someone who's NHL ready. So our next pick, I'm thinking of getting somebody a little bit weaker on a little bit of a better contract. Ben Lovejoy, maybe. He's not on a terrible deal. Ben Lovejoy it is. Ben Lovejoy is our next pick. Our defense so far consists of Andy Green, Dan Girardi, and Ben Lovejoy. My God, an analytics man's nightmare on defense. Let's take a look. Poirier, Barzal, and Tyson Yost. I believe it's one of those. Jost. I think it's Yost, though. He goes. Someone I was looking at, but oh well. Charlie Lindgren, AJ Greer, and Gustav Olofsson are out next. So defense, I want to get at least one more NHL-ready defenseman right now. Especially too, I'm taking a look at the cap space. We have $29 million, which is pretty good. We still need a bottom 6 and 3 more defensemen. So we're doing okay. Braden Coburn would be a decent option. Kind of. Oh, Braden Coburn? Thinking Braden Coburn here. Could go with Nate Schmidt. Who else do we have at an 83 overall? No ideal names, really. I might go with Kevin Miller, just because I wanted to use him in the Bruins series, but it made all the sense in the world to get rid of him. I'm just looking at the potentials here, and I think I just want to get down to the 81s. Okay. With our next pick, Kevin Miller is in. Our defense is going to be spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. Let's see here. Starting to get some of the lower names on the totem pole, and some of the prospects are really starting to go as well. I don't know why I pointed out that Peter Holland and Josh Joris were on the Coyotes, because it's a fantasy draft, so they're not there. I guess I just wanted to make the points that the rosters were up to date in case any of you did not see the custom roster video that I had made, which if you haven't seen, hey, you can still go check that out in case you're surprised by some of the overalls or potentials, Charlie McAvoy to Chicago, that you may be seeing here in this video, because of course a lot of extensive work. And that was the thing about the fantasy draft too, and a point that I meant to make at the top was, as you can tell by the videos I've had on my channel, the reason I don't do fantasy drafts is because I'm all about realistic rosters. So this is a complete 180 compared to what I normally do. Now, our top 2 D lines are set, so maybe we should work just maybe, we should work on that third line. I'm looking at people that at least have a little bit of term that we can have for beyond the season. Prospects-wise, what are we looking at? And we could still take advantage and get some decent prospects here. We could do that, or we could get it. No, I should hold off. Let's get some decent guys here. Antoine Vermette. Oh, well, actually, let's just look at centers first. Third line center. Antoine Vermette is on a pretty damn good contract. And good enough that he will be our third line center behind Tyler Bozak. So we'll get him a third line right wing or left wing with our next pick. So let's see here. Madison Bowie, Anthony Mantha, and Tom Kuhnhackl went with the next picks. Suppose if we wanted to just leave it up to chance, we could have gone sim entire draft. And maybe that way I wouldn't have been able to get so many good rookies for cheap. But again, the give and take with the rookies were, we're going to have a weaker team starting off. I don't know why I'm still trying to defend it. It is what it is. The team is what it is. Third line here. Third line. We need a third line left wing. It will not be Matt Molson. It will not be Nikolai Kulemin. So it will probably be Andre Nestrasil. I think he is a smart pick. It would be him or Daniel Winnick. And we are going to go with him. Of course, on the Carolina Hurricanes, he will be on our third line this year. We need another third line guy. Preferably a right wing. And now that the game's really starting to pick up and these guys are really starting to draft decent prospects, we'll have to pay attention and maybe go back and snag up a couple of other solid prospects before they can get their hands on them. But unfortunately, we still have to wait quite a while, thanks to the snake draft, before getting our next pick. Oh yeah, they are really starting to take prospects. They are really starting to take prospects. We are going to have to make some solid decisions moving forward. We need a third line right winger. Fourth line we'll figure out later. Third pairing defense we'll figure out later. Backup goalie we'll figure out later. We need to get a guy for the third line here. And then we will move forward. Dale Weiss isn't on a bad deal. Matt Reed's kind of on a bad deal. Trevor Lewis isn't on the worst deal in the world, to be honest. And Alex Chason has a little bit of potential left. Who do we go with here? And we could go with Joel Ward. He's 35, though. Hemsky only has a year left. I would never take Alex Burrows. Trevor Lewis, welcome aboard, son. You are going to be on our third line. Not too bad. So our top 9, Kane, Eichel, Laine, Huberdeau, Bozak, Stempniak, Nestrasil, Vermette, and Trevor Lewis. Not ideal, but then, of course, when you count the prospects that we already have, it's a pretty good situation. Of course, Dal Call, Timo Meier, Sergachev, Larson, Ole Levy, and Carter Hart for the goaltending. Although, I did just notice the first draft. I don't know how it took me this long to notice. Actually, no, never mind. Borgstrom was already drafted by Florida. For some reason, I thought the upcoming draft class, like the created players, were put in. That would be terrible. Thank God that's not the case. So let's see. Let's focus here. I want to take a look at goalies because it might be the right time to get a decent backup goalie, actually. I just said, of course, that we delay that. And now does look like a decent time to get a backup goalie. Carter Hutton wouldn't be a terrible shout. Louis Domingue would be an option and still has potential. You got Berube, 25 as a fringe starter. I'm thinking Louis Domingue is going to be the backup goalie, and indeed he is. It's the right time to get him. Louis Domingue is here, so it's Price, Domingue, and Carter Hart for goaltenders thus far. Not too bad. I mean, Jesus, we have Carey Price. I think we're going to be okay. That's what I was saying, though, is Price, even with a somewhat weaker team, gives us a chance to be contenders, or at least a playoff team, in this first season, regardless of who we end up with. How was Chris Terry taken before Joshua Ho-Sang? That is a very weird decision. Hayden Fleury just went. Now the prospects continue to be picked off the board here. But I'm still confident that we will have... Oh, man. Logan Brown. Stanley goes. God, some of those prospects that I wanted, man. They're getting taken off the board. But I think we'll still be able to make the best of it because we got some of those peak prospects early on. So let's see who's still available. We have... we have our 4 defenders. We have the top 9 completed. We have our goaltending set. So I'm thinking prospects again here, guys. I am thinking prospects. Pierre-Luc Dubois and Evgeny Svechnikov are still available. The AI really loved going for high top 6. I'd say that's a good sign. Jake Bean is still available for defense. But all the high potential guys, high top 6, I guess those are more valuable than the low elite, according to this game. So something to remember for the future, something I should have known at this point. Let's see here. We have a prospect left wing. I don't know. Did we go with Dubois? Did we go? Maybe we just finish up the main team. Maybe we just finish up the main team. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. Let's finish up the main team for now. So yeah, let's take a look here at who we have available. Paul Martin is on a terrible contract. Francois Beauchemin wouldn't be a bad shout, though. I know he's 36. He's got 2 years left. But Brooks Orpik is 35. He's got 3 years left. Josh Georges is not on an ideal contract. David Schlemko isn't on a terrible deal. Jordy Ben, Jonathan Eriksson. I think, actually, Yoki Paka might not be a bad bet at 25. I don't know how much better he'll get. Eric Jelena as well. Maybe Yoki Paka and Jelena, or should I just go with the higher overall because we can afford it in cap space? I think we'll just go with the higher overalls because we can afford it in cap space and we'll take a little bit of a hit. So Francois Beauchemin joins our defensive core. And of course we get another pick here very shortly. Sundqvist, Riley Tufte, and Nattinen go next. We are in round 23. Are you still here? Like 43 minutes into this goddamn thing, guys. Holy shit. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. If people are still here. Still blows my mind that, I get, a couple hundred views per video. Still blows my mind. So, anyway. I am thinking that right here we go with, we still got cap space, that's for sure. But Paul Martin's contract is not ideal. I'm going to go with David Schlemko, the ideal third pairing guy. And that completes our NHL level defense. So not too bad. We will see who else gets chosen here as we keep moving forward. A lot of those prospects. Oh yeah, now we're at the time. Now we're at the time where teams are taking prospects. But again, we have a lot. A lot of the good ones. So I'm all right with it. I am all right with it. I'm just... At this point, I'm hitting the wall of like, fuck, okay, it's almost over. We just got to get through. We just got to get through it as Jordan Kyrou gets drafted by the Vancouver Canucks. Not a bad pick. So our defense is set. We have, of course, our 3 solid prospects on defense. So we need to get that fourth line done. So let's take a look at forwards. Patrick Marleau is available, and we could have him for 1 year. A lot of these guys are the the aging players, are the guys who are just really far up there and won't be around for too long. I want to look for people that have term on their deals and are on decent deals. And Jay Beagle, telling you already, Jay Beagle is our fourth line center. Not a bad shout there at all. No idea who we'll get for the left and right wing. Siegenthaler and Nick Merkley, as well as Ben Thomas, are selected. And we are good to go with our next pick. We need a left wing and a right wing for that fourth line. So let's take a look. Marleau is available. Kuhlman does not have a great deal. Torrey Mitchell, not ideal at all. We could go with Marleau. We could go with Patrick Marleau. You know what? And that would have Nestrasil on the fourth line, so Marleau would basically be a third liner. I'm going to do it. I said I wanted people with term, but Patrick Marleau is on this team. I'm afraid you're not going to win a cup before you retire. But Patrick Marleau is here, and he is a solid addition, I feel, to the team. Of course, as a second or third liner, and of course can also play center if needed, as the prospects are just being plucked away. But look at that, round 32. We are almost there. We are in round 26, and it'll be interesting, too, to see who is still available on the free agent list, which might have been a decent tactic as well to try and use that. But I do want to complete the fourth line here. We need a right wing. We will, of course, get our depth from the free agent list later on. So let's see. We have Verbata, Doan, Aginla, Joel Ward. Might not be a decent shout. Matt Reed. Jason Chimera wouldn't be bad for the fourth line, although he's making a little bit too much money. Cal Clutterbuck in his fucking awful contract. No, thank you. Eric Fair, Eric Condra. Slim pickings here. I might go with Ryan Reeves. That's a name that stuck out. Jimmy Hayes, no thank you. You know what? Teemu Pulkkinen or Ryan Reeves? I don't know if Pulkkinen is going to get any better. So we will keep Ryan Reeves in St. Louis, and he will be on our fourth line. So the defense is set. The offense, the goaltending is set. Now we just need to draft potential again. We're back to drafting potential and hoping that we can still get some decent prospects here. Harrington, Jones, and Adam Werner taken after the pick of Ryan Reeves. Let's see who is still on the board here that we can possibly pick up. Forwards, low top 6. We might even go high top 9 over that. Defense, we still have some medium top 4 guys. I don't like the odds of Marcus Peterson or Pedersen here becoming a decent player. He's only a 60 overall. So low top 4 on defense, or potentially low top 6, high top 9. Who else is high top 9 aside from Jimmy Hayes? Nobody. All right. So yeah, the AI really love that high potential rating no matter what it is. So let's go. Who do we go with here? Who do we go with? That is the question. I mean, I'm not too excited for any of these prospects, really, especially on defense here. 23, 25. Son of a bitch. We missed out on a good crop of players here. We still have $10 million in cap space, too. But, I mean, we don't really have... I mean, there's no need to really draft any of these better players. Yeah, there really is no need for it, so we have to go prospects. So let's see here. Who do we want is the question. 18 out of 62, 18 out of 63. He might be our guy, Brett Howden. Brett Howden is our guy. He is here. And we'll look to get a defensive prospect next time out. Of course, we don't get a pick now for a very, very long time, as you guys get to see more of the players that have taken a lot of those defensive prospects are gone. Jesus. All right. Well, we're not going to get like high-end prospects at this point, but we're still going to be able to get decent players. And that is what matters. We just got to be smart with these last few picks, and we will be all right. But I mean, I'm happy with the goal. I'm happy with the team. I am happy with the team. It's just a matter now of getting the last few pieces to the puzzle. We have 5 picks left to make here. Medium top 6. Vejdemo? I'm going to say Vejdemo for now. Is looking like a decent option. High bottom 6 is available as well. Eric Jelena. Not looking too good. I think we are going potentially take Lucas Vejdemo, and I don't even know. Montreal fans, get at me. How the hell do you pronounce that? Let's see here. Who else is available? We have Matthias Fromm, sorry. Could have sworn his name was Mitch. Tamela Nurmi. Lindbaum. Actually, Lindbaum would probably be a better shout. Oscar Lindblom, excuse me. He's a grinder. But we'll take him. We will take him. The more prospects, the better. And, of course, we can make trades if need be. I don't know what to expect for this completed team. As you see the other guys that have been picked up since. Holy shit, we are almost through this. We are almost all the way through this. I didn't mean to look at drafted players. Let me go back to forwards. Let me look at potential here. Jimmy Hayes. Are there any high bottom 6 guys that we should be looking at? Actually, defense. Any high top 6 players? Tennyson is the only one. So high bottom 6 is our target if there are any decent players left with that rating. And there are. So we might be able to get somebody here. Halalka is 21. Bunneman is 18. Michael Spacek is 19. All right, we may have some decent options. How far down does the list go? The list goes down pretty far. Pretty far. So we have some decent options here. We have some decent options. Question is, who do we go with? Who do we go with here? I wish he wasn't a 61. I feel like he'd be a solid player for us. Connor Bunneman, Garnet Hathaway. You're 21 at a 70. That's not ideal. Oh, shit. This is where we get into a bit of trouble. The other picks were pretty easy. Let's go. Not with Garrett Wilson. Glenn Gaudin. Picked by St. Louis. Staying with St. Louis. He is our next pick. Getting some more offensive prospects in there. Really, prospect-wise, all we got was Dal Call and Timo Meier. So, not a bad shout to pick up those guys right about now. 897th overall pick for us is the next pick. That is absolutely insane. People who do this on a regular basis, you are troopers. Because this is fucking taxing. Like, this is mentally exhausting to sit here for an hour and have to decide on players for now, prospects for later. Holy shit. But we are almost through. Thank Christ. Thank you, God. All right. Who do we have available? We should probably look on defense. Are there any decent goaltending prospects left? Suppose now would be a good time to look. Fringe starter, high backup. with Christos Gudlevskis. Anybody 78 was kind of what I was looking for with Mazanic. Not quite sure, but he is who we are going to take in case of an injury. We're going to need at least a decent backup goalie and a main starter in Chicago. God damn. God damn. That is all I can say at this point. If you can't tell, my jaw is about ready to fall off. Just about ready to fall off. Long-winded, though. Thank God for those. Thank God for those Italian genetics. Jesus Christ. Italian family from Massachusetts. Go figure. I can just talk my damn jaw off all the time. Granted, it's not. Both sides aren't Italian. My dad's side is Italian, so it's Why am I getting into this? All right, defense prospects. Is there anybody decent better that just randomly appeared? I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm going to look at high AHL potential. Or high 7th. High 7th might not be too bad. 21, Robin Norrell. You got White. Colton White. 62 at 19 years old. A little bit low of an overall because how quickly would he progress? And then forward-wise, we do have low top 9. We do have low top 9 here. Teemu Pulkkinen, still available. I'm going to take him. I was looking at him when... How long ago did we take Ryan Reeves? Because that's when I was looking at Teemu Pulkkinen. Jesus, man. Holy shit. Almost 1,000 picks in this draft as the Bruins take an AHL high. Oh yeah, look at that. The high AHL players are going now. I fucking knew that's who we should have taken. I'm alright with taking I'm alright with taking Pulkkinen. But absolutely that's where we need to go next. Just any player with high potential. That's who the AI's taking. And that's who we need to aim for. Absolutely. And they might be gone by the time we get to our next pick. Son of a bitch. But I knew that's where they would go, but we needed at least one decent call-up, and Teemu Pulkkinen will be that guy. Radim Verbata, Mark Streit. So many veterans are still available. Well, let's look defensively here. And let's look at these high AHL potential guys as we have to scroll through a lot of 7th D players. Any decent prospects here is my question. I'm looking for a decent age with a decent overall. With right now, Redden Kopp is looking like a decent option, as is Braden Chisen. Or Chisen. I'm going to say Chisen, who we have actually taken before. Kevin Fitzgerald. Who are you? Tate Olson, someone we've actually drafted in the past. Osmanski is a little bit too low. Can I bookmark a player? I think Chisen is probably who we're going to go with if we go defensively. I do want to take a look, though, at forwards really quick with high AHL potential. Take a page out of the AI's book to try and get a decent player. And people told me, you know who you are, saying don't sleep on players with high AHL potential. And you weren't wrong, especially with Ralph Jarrett in the Nord series. Andrew Mangiapane is there. He would actually be a very solid pick for us. 20 years old, 65 overall. Are there any 19-year-olds? Dante Salatoro. Jesus Christ. I keep getting them confused because other players will pop up with custom names. Let's see here. Genero. Anybody else? Travis Barron. Jeremiah Addison. Someone who I actually really wanted to use. Sergei Tolchinsky. He's 21, though. We have a lot of options. Francis Perron, an Ottawa pick. Tyler Soy, who was a Canuck killer way back in that series. Clark Bishop would be a decent option. Thurkauf from the First Nations United series. Like, we have some decent picks. I'm just scrolling down hoping for that one bright spot, and it never came. Okay. Well, that didn't happen. Can we get to Chisholm quickly enough? He will be our next pick. There he is. Let's get him into the fold. Was he our last pick? I think he was. I think he was our last pick in this draft. Holy shit, it's over. Oh my God, it's over. There you have it. The 32 picks from the St. Louis Blues. Oh my God. Carey Price went fourth overall. My God. We are over the hour mark. And it is finally over. I have to end this here before we can even get a look at the team before the start of next episode. Because my jaw is literally going to fall off if I keep this video going. Holy shit. Now, did it sign anybody for us? No. But we do have some junior players. We do need to go through and sign some players, that is for sure. We have $8 million to do it. So in the next episode, we will get the team set up. We will get certain players sent back down to junior that need to be sent down to junior. And we will figure out the Chicago Wolves. And we will begin this series. That is the fantasy draft. This is the new series. My face hurts. As always, if you have enjoyed, if you made it through this, I cannot fucking thank you enough. Truly. Absolutely. I just could not thank you enough. Even if it was background noise for you, it doesn't matter. If you enjoyed this episode, of course, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, but Jesus Christ, if you made it through this, you're subscribed to me. There's no way you wouldn't be. Holy shit. I will see you guys in the next one. Fucking hell.